Hello everyone and welcome to a showcase of where to get every weapon in Soulframe. My name is Quad and this video is made during the Preludes 10 hotfix 6, meaning future drop locations for most, if not all of the weapons, will be changed sadly. If not before, then during the Preludes 11. But do not fret, Preludes 11 is a long way away, so let's start with the basics. I will first show you the weapon I am going to craft and disclose some basic information of it, one by one. But I will not show you any builds or anything more advanced since all of the weapons can be absolutely amazing in the right hands. After that I will show you where to get the weapon parts. Some are easy to farm up and some are an absolute nightmare. Some of them have the same drop location and some of them are specific to one particular area. You'll see as we carry on, but for now, let's start with Bog Myrtle, Vetch, and Virdigris. These three weapon parts drop from the rare chests all around the world, but not in the dungeons. These chests have different names from oro chests, rare chests, dendrite chests, but I call them the flower chests since they have a very nice looking flower on them. There are a few locations these chests may spawn at. In my opinion, the best one is at the entrance of the Crypt of Circade. The location of the crypt is south of the Fort Cairnfold, near the middle of the map. There are two chests that can spawn here. One is behind the tomb entrance, and the other one is behind the other tomb where I'm looking at right now. You can easily make these respawn by going far away and then coming back. I myself go to the spawn point at the top of the hill and to the little stream a bit farther away. After that I return and there is a chance that the chests will respawn. Sometimes you will only see one chest, sometimes you will only see enemies, and sometimes you will see nothing. So yeah, there is a bit of luck here. But there is also another way to get these chests to spawn, the Sparrow tails. One of these Sparrow tails tasks will require you to eliminate a corrupted enemy. If the enemy you need to eliminate is a huge dog, then you're in luck. After you free the dog, you will be able to get yourself the chest inside the corrupted cocoon. I recommend you do these bounties in the southwestern part of the map, because there is not a lot that can go wrong here, like going into the Undercity or in the Glades. From these chests you will be able to get all of the weapons I mentioned, Bog Myrtle, Vetch, and Virdigris. Now let's go over them real quick. Bog Myrtle are a sword and shield that are attuned to grace, and will require 10 of it. They are a primary weapon that belong to the shield art. Vetch is a courage-attuned sword that requires 10 courage. It is a primary weapon that belongs to the long blade art. Virdigris is a spirit-attuned weapon that requires 10 spirit. It is a sidearm weapon that belongs to the short blade art. And those are all three weapons you can get from the dendrite, rare, oro, or the flower chests. So now let's go over the Oden weapons. These are my favorite because they are very detailed and unique in their appearance. First, let's go over the ones that drop from the Oden enemies and chests: Grinn, SOLLOS-I, RIVT-II, Skilter, Unsula, VASP-IV, and Oryn-Umbr. Now, before we go over all of them, some are very common and some are insanely rare, but it seems like you can get them anywhere on the map. There are two types of chests of the Oden. The big Oden ones are, well, big and have massive arms on them since they lift every day. They are not incredibly common, but also not incredibly rare. They spawn anywhere near points of interest on the map and also in the smaller Oden camps. There are also smaller chests which you need to kick open. These spawn in exactly the same way as the big ones, but are far more common. And lastly, you may also get some of the weapon parts from the enemies as a drop if you pick up the scraps. Honestly, you shouldn't have problems with most of these weapons, so now let's look at them. Grinn is a short blade that I cannot tell you anything about. It is a sidearm weapon that is currently bugged and cannot be claimed at the armorer. I have heard that she is keen to see it whole, but she needs some time to piece it together. From my experience, the parts for this weapon drop from the big Oden chests and are not the most common. They are actually quite rare. SOLLOS-I is a spirit-attuned sword that requires 10 spirit. It is a primary weapon that belongs to the long blade art. RIVT-II are grace-attuned daggers that do not require any amount of grace. They are a primary weapon that belong to the short blade family. Skilter are grace-attuned throwing daggers that require 10 grace. They are a sidearm weapon that belong to the fly blade art. Unsula are a grace-attuned daggers that require 10 grace. They are primary weapons that belong to the short blade art. VASP-IV is a courage-attuned polearm weapon that requires 10 courage. It is a primary weapon that belongs to the polearm art. Oryn-Umbr are a courage-attuned sword and shield that require 10 courage. They are a primary weapon that belong to the shield art. I want to add a little side note here that these parts, or these weapons, are insanely rare. Oryn-Umbr is just too rare. So rare that I did not get any parts in a whole week of playing Soulframe for more than 2 hours per day. Luckily, some people I talked to actually got them, so I can confirm they drop from the Oden chests. The big ones and the small ones, but they are insanely rare. The next two drops are from specific enemies, the Percklies and Odiac. The Percklies drop from enemy archers. They are insanely rare drops, so if you can play with the Siren Pact and loot them before they notice you, you are on the right way. They are courage-attuned daggers that don't require any courage at all. They are a side weapon and belong to the Flyblade art. Odiac seems to drop from the Mockeries enemies and from the Oden casters. It is a spirit-attuned primary weapon that does not require any spirit at all. They are a primary weapon and belong to the magic art of weapons. Next off, we have some dungeon-related weapons. Igne Mora, Nettle, and the Gathannan, I think. Igne Mora can be found in the Undercity of Dermak dungeon, entrance of which is right here. They drop from the flower chests at the end of the dungeon, which means it is quite easy to get nowadays. You may also get the parts of it from the Kith of Kings faction, but I do not recommend wasting standing this way. You will need 3000 standing for each part, which is insane. Save yourself 6 hours of grinding instead and try to do the Undercity of Dermak dungeon. It is far better. Igne Mora is a sword that is attuned to courage, 10 of it to be exact. It is a primary weapon that belongs to the long blade art. Nettle is a very nice dagger, parts of which you can find in the Crypt of Circade. The crypt is located in the middle of the map. You only need to open the tomb and jump down in it. In the crypt you will find more tombs that will glow if you use soul mode. Usually you can find 2 or 3 tombs intact, so farming Nettle shouldn't be such a hard thing to do. Nettle is a dagger that is attuned to grace, but does not require any of it. It is a sidearm weapon that belongs to the short blade art. Gathannan drops from the rare flower chests in the glades. The entrance to the glades dungeon is right here, so you don't have to wander around to find it. The rare chest can randomly generate around the dungeon, but there is also one at the end of it, so get to that one at least. Gathannan is a spirit-attuned polearm that requires 20 spirit. It is a primary weapon that belongs to the polearm art. And that is it with the specific location weapons. Now, to continue, we have some more weapons that require you to do Sparrow tails. Sparrow tails come in many forms. You will see an icon on the map that will summon a faction NPC. Depending on which faction you currently are in, you will get a different icon and a different NPC. The NPCs may give you 3 tiers of bounties, depending on the number of stars above the Sparrow tail icon. 1-star ones are usually shorter but give you less standing. However, the drops of weapons also depend on the Sparrow tail tier. You will get a part of the weapon at the end of the tail and will get no notification in the middle of the screen. So yeah, you will have to go back to your inventory or see the ending of mission little quest that displays all the things you get. Let's now go and look at the weapons though. Gwylen is a staff that will require you to do tier 1 Sparrow Tales with the Kith of Kings or the Rose Enclave faction. The Alka's Children faction Sparrow Tales do not drop any. Gwylen is a spirit-attuned staff that does not require any spirit. It is a primary weapon that belongs to the magic art. Thistle is a bow that will require you to do tier 1 Sparrow Tales with the Alka's Children or the Kith of Kings factions. The Rose Enclave faction Sparrow Tales do not drop any. Thistle is a grace-attuned bow that does not require any grace. It is a primary weapon that belongs into the bow art. Wulder is a sword that will require you to do tier 1 Sparrow Tales with the Alka's Children or the Rose Enclave factions. The Kith of Kings faction Sparrow Tales do not drop any. Wulder is a courage-attuned sword that does not require any courage at all. It is a primary weapon that belongs to the long blade art. Blitzel parts are quite peculiar. They seem to drop from tier 3 Sparrow Tales of any faction, but can also be obtained from the small Oden chests. It is a weird one, but it is what it is, I guess. Blitzel is a courage-attuned bow that requires 10 courage. It is a primary weapon that belongs to the bow art. I've heard there is at least one person in the community that loves archery, so this is a very nice bow to have. Rook is a nightmare of a weapon to get. There are two ways to get it if my information pieces are correct. You may get it as a reward from slaying the Banneret mini-boss in the Glades dungeon during the tier 3 Sparrow Tales of any faction. However, getting Glades Sparrow Tales is a nightmare, so you may also get the rug by buying its pieces from the Rose Enclave faction. And you need a lot of them. Yeah, not the best, but it is what it is. The Rook is a polearm weapon that is attuned to spirit and requires 10 of it. It is a primary weapon that belongs to the polearm art. And those are all the Sparrow Tales ones. Now let's go over the last few that require you to do specific things. Juniper is a very special bow that requires 3 pieces for which you will have to play your flute, which is quite interesting. You will need to play the flute at 3 specific totems. The first totem is located west of the Alut Priori point of interest. Here you will find a little cottage with the totem being right next to it. Play the song and you will get the first fragment for Juniper. The second totem is located northeast of the College of Pensives. You will see a village with 4 trees in the middle, and in the middle of those 4 trees should be the totem that you need to play to, and you will get another fragment. And the last totem is on the opposite side of the first 2, southeast of the mines of Boro. Here you will find a small lake and a totem right in the middle of it. Play music to it and get the third fragment. Juniper is a grace-attuned bow that requires 10 grace in total. It is a primary weapon that belongs to the bow art. Duhk Halic is a doozy of a weapon to get. To get all the parts for it, you will have to uncover the whole map with the world trees. I will not show you where to find all the world trees, but here is a map if you need some help. You'll be traveling quite a lot, so let's just say that I wish you luck. Duhk Halic is a courage-attuned polearm weapon that requires 10 courage. It is a primary weapon that belongs to the polearm art. The Royal Thines for the last weapon on our list is given to us as a quest reward after completing the Torment Stag quest. I will not tell you anything about the quest, just enjoy it. Yeah, just enjoy it. The Royal Thines are spirit-attuned daggers that require 20 spirit. They are a primary weapon that belong to the short blade art. And that is it. Hopefully you get all of the weapons I mentioned here without too much hassle. Some weapons also drop from other locations which I did not mention since they are too complicated. For example, you may get Bog Myrtle by doing Sparrow Tales that end in any Undercity dungeon. A way that is not effective at all if you ask me, but it is a way I guess. Anyways, I really enjoyed my Soulframe adventure thus far. I am scratching my head at the moment and trying to come up with video ideas, with the 2 that come to my mind being materials and armors. How to get all of them, of course. What do you think about that? Also, don't forget to tell me your worst nightmare of a weapon grind. My worst one was Bog Myrtle in the previous Prelude. It was an absolute nightmare, but I somehow got it by going down the frickin' undercity of Dermak and the glades 100 times, finally getting the last pieces. It was something. Yeah. But anyways, thank you for watching and I wish you a very nice day. Bye guys.